The Maryland native chef is breaking down all of the spices and blends that you can use for seafood, crab cakes, and more.
There are other seafood seasonings. You do not have to use Old Bay.
Oh wow! Now, man, I'm about to do a backflip. I just knew beyond a shadow of a doubt you were gonna say I'm from Baltimore. If you don't use Old Bay, then we're gonna fight. I just thought you had to use Old Bay. Now, I will
I
say this, right? My seafood seasoning is an heavily Old Bay influence because I mean, Old Bay did
hmm
did its
hmm
thing. I mean, my gosh, I mean, you got the fresh bay leaf,
It's
you
nothing
got
like
the
Old
salt.
Bay. It's nothing like Obey. I agree with it, but to me, at times, because I'm always watching my sodium content, I don't need as much. So I tend to go toward the other Obeys, which are like the lemon garlic one, or the garlic and herb one, and then the reduced sodium one, and then I might add a salt-free seasoning like a garlic and herb Mrs. Dash to kind of add
Mm.
more flavor, but not add more salt. You don't need a whole bunch of salt in
I see
seafood.
what you're saying. So usually when you use Old Bay, you will try to cut that salt with
Cut
some
it. Put
garlic
some
or
cut
some
on
other
it. You
things,
gotta put
right?
some cut on it. For me.
No,
For
no, that no,
me,
that
I
no, that
have to
that's real.
put cut.
That's real. No, like Old Bay can be salty, like the Old Bays, the lemon peppers, like all those things could be really, really salty, and a lot of people would add other things to cut it. Now, again, I'm gonna say if a person could find an Old Bay or any type of seafood that influence. I would say an Old Bay influence seasoning. I would say maybe you disagree, but I think my seafood seasoning is dope because nobody has to cut that
Mhm.
salt. To me, it's a smooth
It's
flavor.
very good.
It has the garlic. It has the granulated garlic, not just that fake play garlic powder. It has that sweet
Absolutely.
cayenne. It has that sweet smoked paprika. It has all those different flavors. But make sure. But I don't know. I'm kind of thrown up. I just knew that you
Wait a
were
minute. Let me
gonna
ask you a
say if
question.
it
Hold
ain't
on.
Old Bay, it ain't nothing.
You use granulated garlic and not garlic powder?
Yeah, I use granulated garlic. I don't play
Why?
because it's more potent. You can taste the garlic. You can taste the garlic. Garlic
Okay.
powder to me is it's just filler to
It's
me. Like garlic, I can't taste it. I can't
okay.
taste it. Like it's potent. It's sweet. It's a little pungent. You know what I'm saying? Got a little splash. I don't want to use the word. I would say pungent, not tart. Granulated
It's got the
garlic is
spice
what I
that you're
use,
looking
man.
for. It's the flavor profile that you're looking for.
Heck yeah, and
Okay.
you gotta have garlic, man. For me, when you talking
hmm
about seafood, you definitely gotta have garlic, and then um, to me also that fresh bay leaf. Now bay leaf is an Old Bay, but definitely I really think that's what make Old Bay is that
Yeah,
fresh
it's
bay leaf.
complete. It's complete. It's complete. And there's a little bit of celery. There's a little bit of
Yeah,
celery
that
seed in
celery
it
salt,
too.
that celery salt.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a little bit of everything in it. So in itself, I get why people love Obey. Like it's a complete season. You really don't need it. I mean, my grandson loves Obey. He's like, I want Obey on everything. I want my potatoes. I want it on my soup. I mean, he goes nuts. But he's a true little Baltimore kid. And my son, he steams his crabs every they steam crabs every week. So that's just
Mhm.
that's the household that they live in. They put it on chicken, they put it in egg. Like literally, I have a really, really good friend of mine who just puts Old Bay on like in his cabbage and every like there are now Old Bay. I did not leave Don't you think I left Maryland without a 7.5 thing container of Old Bay because I didn't know if I was going to be able to get Old Bay down here. But there are other seafood seasonings that are just as good, if not better, than Old Bay. And when you think about it in terms of
Like
steamed
who?
crabs, well, like
Like
Hunter's is good. Hunter's is a
oh,
very, very good seafood seasoning. I agree. And I should have came past the farmer's market to get some because all I had was like all I
It's
had
a
was this.
Baltimore girl talking, man. So I mean, like, hey, you made my day. Like seriously,
It's
you made
really,
my day.
really good.
This a
All the
Baltimore
seasonings
girl.
are really good. Some people will go to the dollar store and get their seasonings, right? You know, they'll say Spice Classic is the same as Old Bay. They made in the same factory. And granted, we know that only larger companies can afford to do a generic, and I get that.
That that
However,
and I was gonna say this. I'm sorry. I'm gonna say this
all right.
too. Dollar store seasoning, right? And top quality seasoning. That's just like saying I want to go get a steak. Do I go to Longhorn Steakhouse and get a $12 steak? I'm gonna get what I'm gonna get. or so I go to Prime 112, or I go to Morton's. It's what you want. And me,
Absolutely.
if I'm gonna make some crab cakes, if I'm gonna put all that effort, especially I like to say this, when I cook, I like to be the hero. You know what I'm saying? So I can't use top quality stuff and throw some 50-cent ingredients in there. That's just not me, but to each his own. But I look at it
Right.
like that, just in anything, even with crabby, just anything. But when we're talking about seasonings, you could go to go to the dollar store, you go to Walmart, get something for $1.99. You get that, but it's like you want to go to Longhorn Steakhouse or you want to go to Morton's. It kind
Right.
of depends on how you want to do it. I'm not hating
Right.
either way. You know what I'm saying? But if it's my birthday or if it's a weekend, I want to go to Morton's to give me a nice.
Got
I
you.
want to
I,
get a steak.
I I agree with you 100%. It's all about the seasoning.